Joining me today, Breaking the Silence podcast. I'm sorry I'm a little bit late for the ones that have registered and they're waiting for me to come live at 6 o'clock, but I was stuck with a emergency intake with a client. But anyway, we're here. I showed up. We're here. And for anyone that doesn't know me, my name is Jeannie Perez, and I am the founder of You're Not Alone and of the podcast that you're listening today. Today I want to talk about how sometimes we always feel like we're in a rush, like our body is running out. We're running out of our bodies faster than we are thinking or faster than we can talk. I'm sure some people can resonate with that. And what I mean by that is where you're always feeling like you're on the edge. Everything has to be rushed, or everything is urgent, everything is an emergency, but really when you think about it, there is no emergency. It's just your body, your nervous system running fast. You're like on the edge about everything. And I just wanted to touch base on that a little bit because we come across that a lot when I'm dealing with my clients. And it's a lot of them do have anxiety, but a lot of it doesn't always have to be based on you having anxiety when you feel like that. It's like your body's on flight mode. And when I say flight mode is when you feel like you can't settle down, you can't sit down, or you can't relax because you're like on edge. You feel edgy, or you feel like you're going to miss something. One person told me that she felt as though she was being lazy if she took a rest. And that's just your brain and that's your nervous system reacting to either trauma or something that you're just thinking about too much mentally or physically, and you're holding yourself back. So you feel as though that if you slow down, either you're going to miss something or you're going to slow down, and that's where your brain is going to, in your mind, you start thinking more about whatever you're trying to run from. So that's just something I want to touch base on today because I know I've come across a lot where, like I said, with dealing with individuals on a daily basis, where they'll say, well, I was just told I have anxiety because I'm always rushing. You might have it. I mean, I'm not a doctor. I'm licensed, but I'm not a licensed PhD. So, you might have anxiety, but sometimes, a lot of times when we feel as though we're rushing or we're on an edge or our body is running out of our own bodies, doesn't typically mean that you have anxiety. A lot of times it is your nervous system, definitely, backed up by science, psychology. It is your nervous system. Your nervous system is on flight mode. And what I call flight mode, it's almost like your nervous system is starting it protects you from thinking more than what you should, overwhelming your mind. And that's why you feel like you're rushing. And I think that a lot of people feel as though that they're not doing things right because they feel like this. And like I tell my own clients and stuff, it's not that you're not doing something right, and it's not typically saying that you're doing something wrong. It's just that you're either running from a trauma that you don't want to think about too much, so you've become and put yourself into this flight mode, what I call a flight mode, because you're constantly running. Your body's constantly running. And it's hard. I know a lot of people say, well, it's hard to revamp my brain or my system to get away from that feeling. And I get it. Believe me, I get it. Because it's hard to do something different than what you put yourself into. Sometimes, maybe before you weren't into this, you weren't in this flight mode, and now you're feeling different, and then it's hard to go back to before, as when you wasn't in this flight mode before anything maybe happened, a trauma or a disconnect that put you in this thing, or what other people would say, down a dark hole. It's hard sometimes to catch yourself and bring yourself back from that. And I know that a lot of people, if they feel as though they slow down, they start thinking more. It reminds them of whatever they're running from. It could be the trauma that they're running from, or it could be just memories that they're running from that they feel as though if they keep themselves going, they won't think as much. They won't focus much on whatever it is that they don't want to think about. And I get it. I understand it. Sometimes, we don't always want to be remembering things that we try to block our mind away from doing. I know a lot of us, we block things that we don't want to remember, or we block a feeling that we don't want to feel anymore. Some of us can block it and some of us can't. And the ones that can't block it completely are the ones that fall into that flight mode. And it's really hard for some people to get away from that flight mode. They get a phone call and they want to jump on that phone call real fast. They feel as though they can't miss that phone call, or they can't miss that text, or that email, or, if someone asks them to do something, it's always yes, yes, yes. Like you're always volunteering yourself. Yes, yes, yes. You're always overdoing yourself. And then you fall back and you say to yourself, oh my God, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to say yes, or I don't want to continue. I'm constantly picking up this phone. Is it really important? And that's what you need to really think about. You have to pause yourself. We have to learn how to revamp ourselves and try to pause ourselves and say, okay, is that call really important? Is that message really important? Do I really need to text that person that quick? Is it important? We just need to learn how to pause ourselves and maybe, count. Do like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Do that method and say to yourself, let me pause. Is this really urgent? Who is it gonna affect if I slow down? Who's gonna benefit from me not slowing down? Those are the kind of things that you have to really try to wrap your head around. And I know it's a little hard, and I get it, I understand. But sometimes we have to learn ourselves how to pause and really slow ourselves down. It's not being lazy. It's not saying, oh, well, if I don't help this person, they're going to think I'm lazy. Or if I don't get this done within 30 minutes or an hour, someone's going to say, oh, she just didn't want to do it, or he didn't want to do it, or he just doesn't feel like up to it. No. We have to learn how to pause ourselves and really give ourselves that break and say, okay, is this important? Do I need to really go somewhere, be there by 5 o'clock? Or is it just me saying I need to be there an hour ahead? Can I just answer that email back or that text back in a later time? You have to just revamp yourself and give yourself that pause so that you can learn how to manipulate that feeling that you feel always on the edge, or you feel like you're walking on eggshells, or you're rushing out of your own body. These are just tactics that I'm trying to help you out with to help you on a daily basis. I mean, it's not saying don't take, if you're on medication, I'm not telling you don't take medication and try this. I'm not telling you don't do something that your psychiatrist told you to do, or a practice that your psychiatrist or your doctor told you to do. No, that's not what I'm saying to you today. What I'm here for is just trying to help you, give you some tools and resources to help you in between those times. Like it could be 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, you're home alone or you're somewhere alone, and you get this edgy feeling, all of a sudden it just sneaks up on you. Because that's how it is. It sneaks up on you. And your body is running faster than you can think. You're alone, you have no one next to you, you have no one you can talk to, or tell someone, oh my God, I feel really, really out of body right now. So what I'm trying to help you out with is giving you a tactic that can help you at that moment until you can actually go get help or have someone that you can talk to. And that's why I'm telling you that we can try these tactics somewhere you can just try to pause. It might be hard. You might need to do some kind of breathing. You might need to grab a bag and do some kind of breathing in that bag at that moment. If you don't have a bag, then you need to learn how to pause yourself. And just like breathe in, breathe out, count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 in your mind. physically or mentally, or just try to be focused, meditated if you need to. And just ask yourself that, are you going through at that moment? Yes, it's real. Yes, I know that for sure. I'm not saying that your feelings are not real. What I'm saying is you can try to control them to a point where you can get yourself to where you need to get to, whether it's to go get help, whether it is to get on a phone and reach out to somebody, or just to get up and go and do what you need to do. This is what I'm trying to help you with, to get you from A to B, so that from A to B you can get to where you need to get to get the help that you need at that moment. And it is hard sometimes for some people, like, I have clients that tell me, well, I can't snap out of it. Sometimes it's hard for me to snap out of it, or it's hard for me to even realize what's going on with me at that moment. And I do understand it, because like I said, that feeling is real. When you feel like you're running, you're on edge, you just feel like your body is coming out of your own body and you can't grasp it, you can't grab it. But that's why I'm saying that if you don't have someone near you at that moment to help you, or you can't reach that phone because your hands are shaking, it's falling right out of your hand. I get it. I understand it. But if there's any way that you can just sit there and try to pause yourself, try to breathe, and just pause yourself for that moment, so that you can ease yourself from that edgy feeling, to be able to focus and go on with your day, or go on and do what you need to do by either picking up the phone or get some help. And that's what I'm here for today, to just go over that scenario with my listeners. And like I said, you're more than welcome on my podcast to send me a message. Let me know what you're going through. If you're not understanding, or you're not grasping what I'm trying to help you out with, or you just feel as though I can't do it. Like, I get what you're saying, Jeannie, but I can't do it. Like, my body is running so fast that I can't control it. And it happens. You're not weird, you're not odd. You're not going through something that no one else is going through. Many of people, millions of people are going through this. Billions of people are. It's just a feeling that affects a lot of people. And some are able to control it for a couple of seconds, a couple minutes, until they get the help, or they're on a phone with someone, until they speak about it, or until they're able to pause themselves. What we call pause. And the pause will be, you trying to figure out, is it important what's going on? Like, am I getting nervous because I just missed that call? Am I getting nervous because of a conversation I just had with somebody? Am I getting nervous about some kind of news that I just got? Or you could have just been sitting in front of the TV or hearing the radio or something and got nervous from something that you heard. And it happens, because I have a lot of clients that come to me and say, I wasn't doing nothing but just watching TV. What was you watching? Was you listening to something and it triggered it? It's triggers. Unfortunately, in life is filled with triggers. And sometimes some of us are able to control those triggers and some are not. And that's where this comes in for the ones that are not able to control triggers that life throws at us. And most of these triggers that life throws at us are triggers that are very unexpected. Like, you're just sitting there and boom, it just comes over you. You don't know what happened, you just know you just feeling this whole different way. You were just laughing, you were just talking, you were just chilling with your friends, or you might have just been on the call or hung up. You might have been texting, walking, working, whatever it is. And all of a sudden, boom, it takes over you. And you're all of a sudden feeling like you're running. You forgot something, or you're missing something, or you're out of place because you didn't do something. That's what I call triggers. When you're feeling like you're rushing, when you're feeling like you're on the edge. You're feeling like anxiety is kicking your ass today. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. And those are true feelings. Those are real feelings. You might tell somebody, oh my God, I just feel so nervous right now. Oh, well, just calm down, relax. It might help, I don't know. But most of the time, it doesn't. Most of the time, we have to just pause ourselves mentally. Like, we actually have to just fight back with our brains. Like I always say, fight it back. Like you have to pause yourself, and just think, like, what the heck is going on with me right now? Like, what's going on? Calm yourself down. Like, okay, like plenty of times I gotta tell myself, like, come on, girl, come on, Jeannie, get it together, girl, get it together. It ain't that serious. So we all talk to ourselves. Some of us talk to ourselves out loud. Some of us talk to ourselves mentally. Whichever way it is going to help you do it. That's what I'm saying, because most of the time, yeah, if you need help, we have to reach out and get it. But until we can get to that point, we have to learn how to pause with ourselves. We have to learn how to talk to ourselves, mentally, out loud if you have to, or mentally and quiet yourself. That's the kind of things that I'm trying to put in place for my listeners. For the community, I deal with them on a daily basis. These are processes that I deal with them. These are tools and resources that I deal with them. Like I said, there's plenty of tools and resources on my website. You can always call me on the 800 number that's on my website, or if you're following me, it's in my bio, my website, and just get on there. Just use my tools and resources if you have to. Give us a call if you have to. Like this, everything is there. There's nothing that I believe. I don't see nothing that I have missed that I am providing access to my listeners to or my followers to for free. Please let me know. If there's something, if you went on my website and you've seen all my services and you're seeing everything that I have on my website, if it's something on there that I missed, or it's something there that you need and you haven't been able to find help about it, or you haven't been able to find a book on it or an ebook or anything on it, and you're trying to figure it out, reach out to me. Because I guarantee you, I'm going to find it for you. If I don't have it on there and you're giving me this new idea, like, oh, I need this, Jeannie, I can't find it anywhere, I need some kind of information, I need something that I can carry or download so that I can look at it and go to it every time I'm feeling a certain way, reach out to me. Because I'm all open for stuff like that. Knowledge is power. And if I can give that knowledge to someone that they need so they can go on and focus on a daily basis, I'm all open for it. Send me an email. Give me a call on my 1-800 number. If I don't get that message, one of my teamsters will, and they will get it over to me, and we will get whatever you need put together and sent it right over to you. That's not a problem. So if there's something there that you need and you don't see it, let me know. And again, like I said, this is not about my podcast, and my organization is not about saying, just use us. We're the only ones that have what you need, or I have the only team, or, the professionals that you need. No. Because everyone is not for everyone. That's just the truth. That's just the honest truth. And like I said, if you listen to my podcast, you're going to hear nothing but raw and honesty, because I ain't going to sit here and bullshit to you, and I'm not going to bullshit to myself. I'm not that type of person. So, yeah, everyone's not for everyone. I might be, you'd be like, oh, I'm not worried about her. She's not for me. And I get it, because a lot of people are not for me. So, if you get on my website and you feel as though you resonate with me, you resonate with my teams, when you go on my website and you see who I have, and there's many more that I don't have on there as of right yet, because there's processes that we're doing. Because I don't have anyone on my team or on the website that background's not checked on them, that their license are where they need to be. No, because it's my business on the line. So we have many more people that are coming on. They're just in the process at this moment. But if you feel as though that we're giving you, or we're providing access to something that you can benefit from, or you feel as though okay, yeah, they're okay, I can deal with them. I feel as though they can help me on my journey, or if you just want to just come on and be part of our team and be part of our movement, we're here. And that's what my podcast is about. That's what my organization is about. It's not about trying to sell you something or tell you to go with us instead of someone else. First of all my services are for free. The only thing you'll find on my podcast that you can buy if you want, and if you don't, it's fine. It's just t-shirts. It's quotes. It's motivational quotes. Just trying to give people that motivation that they can wake up and maybe throw a shirt on and say, oh shit, yeah. Remind themselves, well, this is my business name, but I have shirts with the quotes on here, it's okay to not be okay, and what's not okay is not to think that you have to struggle in the dark alone. That's just my model. That's just my part of my logo. But, I have shirts out there just reminding people that what's going on with them is real. And you just believing in yourself is enough. So, I mean, things like that you might find on my site that you can purchase. You might be able to purchase an ebook or a very large, educated book, because I have some books that are over 100 pages. So, those of you want to purchase them, you can. And if you can't afford them, if there's something on my site, because it's not about the money. If you know me, then you know it's not about the money. My intentions here is to help. That's all it's all about. But, you got to make money some way, somehow, sometimes too, But if there's something on my site that you really, really like, or there's some kind of learning, some kind of book on my site, because I have published multiple books. If there's a book on my site that I published and you really want that book, but you can't afford it, send me a text. Send me a message. Because it's not that serious. If you really think you need that book, and if you really took that step to reaching out to me, then that's going to prove to me you need that book. And you're going to get it. Simple as that. So, a lot of people are saying, I had one person reach out to me one time, and this is when I first launched the business. Because you're going to get those people, the negative ones. But it doesn't bother me. They reached out and said, are your services really for free? I just can't believe that. Or are you just another fraud like so many of them on social media? So, I mean, I paused. Like I'm telling you to pause, I paused. I paused for a couple of days. I paused myself for a couple of days before I really sent a message to this person. Because if you know me in real life, you know it's kind of hard for me to pause and let you talk trash. So, I had to pause a little bit. And a couple of days later, I picked up the phone. I didn't even text this person because they even provided their email address and they even provided their phone. I guess they did want to talk to me. So I picked up the phone. I didn't even let anyone from my team do that call or even send that email. I flagged that real quick. And I called them and I said, it was a guy, and I said, hi, how you doing? I'm Jeannie Perez, the founder of You're Not Alone. You sent me a message about my services. You want to know, was my services really free, or was I another fraud, like other ones that you see so much on social media? And he said, yeah, don't take it offensive. I just wanted to know. I just really wanted to know because there's so much going on. And how could you give so much access for free? And I said, well, it is for free. There's no fraud. There's no fraud intentions behind anything that I do. I said everything is free. And he said, well, how could you afford that? I said, well, I've been blessed. Most of my teams are all volunteers. No one's asking me for anything. They're volunteering their time because they support the cause of mental health or drug and addiction. And he said, well, how can they live? I said, well, I don't want to be, I'm not trying to talk over you or anything, but it's really not your concern on how my employees live their daily basis or how they're paying their bills. You just want to know, are my services free? And I'm telling you that yes, all my services are for free. And the way that we're able to do all this is because we do have donations that come through. We have the community base because I've been in the same community for over 20 years. I'm well known in my neighborhood and in my community. So yes, everyone knows that what I'm doing, it's a good cause, and mostly people do donate. And they provide a lot of support to my organization. And he said, oh, okay. And I said, and if you want, just look me up. I mean, nowadays, you can look anybody up on Google nowadays, So he said, okay, I really do apologize. He said, and you giving me a call, you must not be hiding about anything because I wasn't expecting you to give me a call back. So that's how it is. You have your negative people that are always going to try to put your business down. And then you have the people to support you. And fortunately, I am fortunate with that where I do have a big support team. And the reason because of that is because I'm a true person. I'm true. I mean, what you see is what you get. And if you want more from what you're seeing, it's there. But, you got to tell me what kind of support you want. What are you trying to do? What do you need from me? What do you need from my team? Because if you reach out to us, you're going to get the help that you need regardless. And if I can't give it to you with my team that I have, I'm going to make sure you get it one way or another. And that's where my advocates come in place. And it's just the reason why I brought that up was just to show you that we all have to pause. And everyone, I think everyone's been tested in life. There's no way, I don't think that anyone has not ever been tested one way or another, where you have to really say, oh crap. But some of us, we can't pause. I get it. I get that, But some of us have learned, like myself, how to pause and really say to yourself, like, okay, not going to let this person take me there, or, is it really important? And that's what I'm trying to prove to you. If I can pause, I can guarantee you can pause. And that's why I'm saying this today. When you feel like you're on the edge and you feel like your body is running out of your body, and it's 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning again, and you don't have that support by your side, or you can't focus, please just try to pause like I'm asking you. Try to breathe. Ask yourself, fight it back. Like, okay, what's going on? What's going on? Is this really important? I really believe in the breathing through your nose and out of your mouth technique. I say that all the time to my clients. I say that all the time to even my family members. I use it myself. I think even if you don't have, even if you don't have anxiety, depression, or any kind of mental illness or addiction, I still believe that breathing technique really helps out. And that simple breathing, again, just breathe through your nostrils and just hold it. And breathe out slow. I guarantee you, if you do that a couple times, you're going to bring yourself down to where you can control yourself and do what you need to do next. Whether it's calling somebody, getting help, or doing whatever it is that you're doing throughout your day. Just pause. Just talk to yourself. Just resonate with that feeling at that moment. We can all do it. I know it's hard, but you can do it. Yes, sometimes you might be having a breakdown and you're on the edge and you know yourself. And we know ourselves. We know we're getting ready to have a bad day, a good day, or crap, this day's all messed up. I know, I get it. But we know that. And I feel as though even when you're on the edge and your body is running, I believe you can feel it within yourself that something is about to happen. And that's what I'm saying. When you get that feeling, when you get that urge, just do what it takes. If breathing is not helping you, if meditating is not helping you at that moment, jump up and get the help. Call crisis, or call 911, or call your friend, or do whatever it takes. If you have to run out your house to get help, do it. Because it's like I said, and I've seen and I've witnessed where people have told me, well, I know they were overwhelmed, and that might be why they just took their life. Well, that's what we don't want to hear, but unfortunately, we do hear that more often than we like. After something happens to someone, then their circle or people close to them or people that might have known them years ago or something like that say, oh, well, maybe it was that they were going through this or going through that. We wish that 100% it would always come to we don't have to think like that. We don't have to be around a table or around talking with someone else about something that someone just took their life on. And that's why I wanted to start this podcast and hopefully just really reach out to people, and just try to give them these tools and resources before that happens, before they get to that point where life is too much, and life is too much for all of us, to be honest. Sometimes we all get overwhelmed with just our everyday basis, Some of us might be well off, and people say, oh, well, how could you have any problems? You have everything no. I don't care how much money you have. I don't care how big your house is. I don't care how less money you have or how little or whatever. We all have problems. We all have issues that we have to deal with on a daily basis. Some of them are bigger than others. Okay, I get that point. I understand that. Some of our problems are smaller than others and some are bigger than others. I get it. But we all have something that we're dealing with on a daily basis. Just like, not to get off the topic, just like the people that say, oh, mental illness, I don't deal with that. No, I don't need to hear that, mental illness or addiction. I don't care what you or anybody else says. I know that for a fact, everyone in this world is affected by mental illness or drug and addiction one way or another. Maybe not themselves, maybe not their loved ones, so that's why they feel as though it doesn't matter. But some way and somehow they've come in contact either with a friend, a neighbor, a co-worker, someone. They've come in contact with mental illness and drug and addiction somewhere somehow. Some people just feel as though it's not important to them because they're not dealing with it, it's not affecting them, or their loved one, someone that they really care about, has never been affected. So they're going to I don't care about that. And that's okay. I understand that. I get it. You don't have to be bothered if you don't support it. That's why I'm here today. Because too many people are being brushed off. Too many people are being told it's not important, it'll pass. Or they're still immature, they'll get over it. Or it's not that serious. You need to learn how to move on. That's why I'm here. Because I'm speaking for those that are still in the silence, that are scared because they're being, told different. Or, these are things that you're not supposed to put your time into. These are things that you're supposed to just throw over your shoulder or brush them off and keep going with your life because it's not affecting you. Yeah, let them deal with that. That is affecting them. And I get it. Everyone, people do what they want to do. They don't have to deal with something if they don't want to. It's fine. That's why I'm here, because I want to be able to be there for that person that doesn't have that support system. Be there for that person that might have the support system, but still needs a little more to be able to get them where they need to get to. Or just be there for that person that needed to hear what I said at that moment, or maybe at an event, or maybe a podcast, or maybe a post that I put out, they needed to see that. That's why I'm here. I'm not here to take anyone's place. I'm not here to take your therapist's place. I'm not here to take your doctor's place. I'm not here to take your support's place. I'm just here to give you in addition to what you already have, if you have it. And if you don't have it, I'm more than happy to give it to you. That's why I'm here. Because sometimes we're looking for something or we need something, but we know we can't get it from our support, our family, or friends, whatever. But sometimes you're reading and you might feel, oh crap, that's what I was looking for. Let me reach out. Or you heard something on TV, you're like, oh my God, that's what I needed. That's what I want to be. I want to be when that person either listens to my podcast live or listens to my podcast on iHeartRadio. Maybe they're on their radio in the car or on their phone, and all of a sudden my thing comes through the iHeartRadio, and they hear it. That's what I want. I want to be able to be someone's instant, where they'd be like, okay, wow, that's what I needed. Let me go get this help. Or, yeah, that's the feeling I'm going through. Now I feel like I understand myself a little better. Let me reach out to this group. Or let me reach out to a group in my neighborhood. Let me reach out to someone, but I know now what I need. It doesn't have to be us. But I just want to get to people to make them understand that it's not healthy and it's not okay to think that just every day going through the same thing over and over, putting it in the back of your mind for a little bit, it's going to go away, and it's not. Unfortunately, that's just part of life. It's a chemical imbalance, it's trauma, it's thoughts that you can't get out of your head. It's a lot. It's a lot. And like I said, some of us are strong where we can't put it off for a little bit. Try, like I say, turn the switch on and off. Some of us have become pros at that, where we can turn the switch on and turn it off, depending on where we're at the moment. It's like they say, put different masks on for wherever you're at. And I get it, and I understand a lot of people live their life like that. But unfortunately, whether you want to believe it or you want to be honest with yourself, living like that with a mask on every day, turning the switch on and off every day, you're not happy. You're putting on a show. Okay? You're putting on a show, not for yourself, but for others. You're putting that mask on every day for others, to make others happy, to make them feel comfortable, so that they don't realize what's going on with you. And I'm here to tell you today, stand up for yourself. Show up for yourself. You know, those people that you're trying to put this mask on for on a daily basis, turn that switch on and off on a daily basis. If they're that important to you that you feel as though you need to do this and keep draining your own self, then you need to ask yourself, okay, so if I tell them what I'm going through, will they give me the support that I need? And if they're that important to you, I believe they will. I believe they will. So, you know, if you're living with a mask on, if you're turning that switch on and off every day, pause yourself. Take that mask off, throw it away, and become who you really are. The light switch, break that switch if you have to. You know, and be you. And if it takes being you and losing these people that you've been wearing this mask on for every day, turning the switch on every day for, then it's meant to be. Which one do you rather have? You rather have this mask on all your life and never get to be yourself and live your life and be happy? Or take it all off, let it go, be yourself. And if it falls in place, it does. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. If they're no longer around you, then you wasted your time all these years. Okay? But at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say, at the end of the day, we need to show up for ourselves. And you'll hear me saying that a lot because it's just the honest truth. It's the honest truth. No one's going to show up for you except yourself. No one's going to pull you out of this dark tunnel that you put yourself in, but yourself. And the way that you're going to do this, well, how am I pulling myself out? I can't even help myself. I get it. But that's why I'm saying you need to take this mask off. You need to break the switch, become yourself, and ask for help. That's how you're going to pull yourself out of this masquerade, I call masquerade life. Believe me, once you just become yourself, stop wearing a mask, stop turning the switch on and off, stop trying to be someone that you're not, and just continue to run this show for others, you're going to be in a peaceful place. You're going to feel so different. You're going to feel like 1,000 pounds have come off your shoulders. You're going to feel like, oh shit, I'm light as hell and don't even work out. Yeah, because you no longer have to have that weight on you about worrying about, oh my God, such and such, I got to, hold up. I got to smile, you know, but I'm all fucked up inside. That's not the way you want to live. That's not the way you want to live. You know, unfortunately, you know, I know it's kind of rough, kind of harsh on some people, what they're listening to me saying, and you know, they're probably saying, oh, she's so blunt. But that's how life is. You know, if you're not going to stand for the truth and be honest about everything, then what are you doing? What are you doing? I don't live a fake. I don't live that kind of life for myself, and I try to revamp my clients and the community to realize that's not the way to go. You have to learn how to be yourself. And if you can't be yourself around the circle that you are around all the time, if you have to be fake and you have to hide yourself behind these masks while you're just dying inside, it's not worth it. I'm telling you right now, it's not worth it. And if you think it's worth it for some situation, I don't know what it could be. Because nothing is more important than your life. Nothing is more important than taking care of yourself. Yes, okay, so people may say, oh yeah, well, I'm a mother, my kids are more important. Oh yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. And I can vouch for that because I'm a mother of 4. I can vouch for that. Yeah, your kids are very important. But how are you going to be there for your loved ones if you can't take care of yourself? How are you going to give them a healthy life if you're not even healthy? You know, you don't want them to grow up thinking that pretending is the way to go. Because believe it or not, you think they don't know, but they know. Oh, they feel it. They know. And that's why I'm saying that it's better to, resonate with yourself. Become the person that you want to be. Be you. Love yourself for who you are. You don't need to be what someone else wants you to be. If you're not happy, you're not happy. If you're sad when you wake up, you're sad. Everyone is allowed to feel emotions. That's natural. That's life. Shit, when I don't want to be happy, I'm not happy. It's kind of hard for my team or my family because they're like, oh God, she woke up in the wrong side today. But that's how life is. I just pause myself, take my breathing, figure out what I need to do for the rest of the day. I'm always on the go. I'm never home. I'm always on the go. I'm working with the community. I'm online. I'm always doing. But every day is not a happy day. Like every day, you have some things that you have to deal with and you're rushing shit. I'd rather be sitting on the beach somewhere. Hey, that's how life is. But we have to do what we have to do. As a parent or as just yourself. Even if you don't have kids or even if you don't have a family. Life is what it needs to do. You need to do what you need to do on a daily basis. And that's just how life is. But even though you're running or you're doing whatever it is on a daily basis, it's important to be yourself. It's important to be around what you want to have. You don't want to have to be wearing different masks or smiling when you don't feel like smiling or, doing things that you really don't want to do, but you're saying yes to everything just to make that other person happy. Make yourself happy. Make yourself number one. Figure out on what you need to do to take care of yourself. What do I need to do to be happy? I'm going to wake up and do this today for myself. Do that. Everyone needs a day for themselves. When it comes to pampering your mind, your brain, you just need it. But on an everyday going basis, you need to be real. And I know some of us that are dealing with really bad mental illnesses because they're all stages. Or we have a really, really bad addiction. I get it. And I know that sometimes we need more than what I'm saying to you, more than just the breathing or more than just picking up a phone. We need help. We need medication. Just get up and get it. Don't worry about who's going to be hearing about it. Don't worry about what anyone else is going to say. Just worry about what you need to get yourself back on track. Okay? Because everyone needs to be happy. Everyone needs to be able to function on a daily basis. Some have to function being medicated. Hey, that's okay. But you're functioning. It's okay. Some of us don't have to be on medication. We can just function with tools and resources. Or just from talking to someone. Hey, if that's what it takes, then do it. All I'm saying, and I'm hoping that you're taking today from this episode, is that it's important to really pause with ourselves. It's really important to really understand what we're doing on a daily basis. Is it that important? Do we really have to run and do that within 5 minutes? Do I really need to answer that text or that email or that call in 5 or 3 minutes? Can that just wait? Learn how to delay yourself from different actions. If it's not that important, don't run for it. Delay yourself. Learn how to pause yourself. Do things at your time, at your process, when you're ready. Once you start doing that, pausing yourself, you're going to learn how to help yourself whenever that rush just sneaks up on you, that flight mode. I call it a flight mode because it just jumps on you and boom, you feel like you're just rushing. Whenever that sneaks up on you, just try to pause. If you need to breathe, do the breathing method. I have resources on my website that can walk you through the breathing method if you don't understand how to do it yet. Do the breathing method, pause, ask yourself, is it really urgent? Is it really an urgent, is it an emergency? Is it that urgent and emergency that I have to really be rushing myself the way that I am? And like I said, I know a lot of times the urgency and the emergency isn't part of what you're getting ready to do, or your follow up on an email or text. A lot of times it has to do with trauma that we're trying to block off. Because of that, our brain, our nervous system blocks that off, and it feels as though like the nervous system puts you in a flight mode stage, because it kind of keeps you rushing your nervous system, because you're blocking it. You're blocking those thoughts that you're trying not to ever go back to. It kind of puts you in a rush, because if you slow down, you feel as though if you slow down, you're going to start thinking. And it's going to take you back to that time that you don't want to remember, because you feel as though you're slowing down. Like a lot of us, you know how they say it. Well, a lot of times, people tell me a lot of times when they're, either taking a shower or they're getting ready to go to bed, all the thoughts just come rushing through. They start thinking a lot, because that's their time alone. And I get it. I truly do understand that. And that's where I say try to do some kind of learning methods. Whether it's breathing, whether it's meditation. Maybe you need to sit up at that moment if you're in bed, and just sit up and just try to resonate with yourself, what's going on with you at that moment. And try to do some kind of coping skills with it, whether it's breathing, whether it's talking to yourself, whether it's picking up the phone and talking to someone. Just try to snap yourself out of that overwhelmed weight that comes over some people sometimes when they get in this flight mode. Try to reach out, try to get yourself out of there before any thoughts start rushing through. And if for some reason you can't rush those thoughts away, and if there's thoughts that are really bad, if there are thoughts of hurting yourself, thoughts of, ending your life, please pick up that phone and call crisis. Pick up that phone and call 911. Pick up that phone or talk to someone, a loved one or something, scream. But ask for help. Do not, and I beg you and I ask you again, do not keep that feeling within you and try to fight it on your own. That's what we're trying not to have. You don't need to be feeling these emotions on your own. You don't need to suffer in silence. There's plenty of help out there. If you don't want to use our organization, or you just feel as though you've heard of something else in your neighborhood, something closer to you, even though we're virtual, we're worldwide access, please do it. Please do it. And do not continue to suffer in silence and try to hold these overwhelming feelings within yourself, by yourself. Because sometimes some people cannot take it. Some people can, and they get to the next spot. But for the ones that cannot deal with this feeling and this edgy feeling that's just driving them like to where they're feeling like they can't control that, even with trying to pause or trying to do something and it's still not working, or you feel as though it's getting worse at that moment, reach out for help. It's really important that you do. That's really, all that I really want to bring to attention today. I did deal with someone today about this. I was telling them what my podcast was going to be about. And they got into the conversation on, they felt like this sometimes too. And I went through the whole process with her, the same way I just went with you about the breathing and stuff. So I know this is something that is happening to people on a daily basis. Some people are not understanding it. They think off back, oh my God, what is this feeling? I'm losing my mind. And again, it's your nervous system. And that's backed up by science. And you need to learn how to resonate with yourself. You need to learn how to pause with yourself. And if you cannot do that, then it's time to get help. You don't want to continue to dealing with this and not being able to control these feelings, not to be able to control these emotions, this overwhelming, these thoughts. And like I said, it's real. It's real. Some people don't get it. They don't understand the mental illness situation. They don't understand the addiction. But I'm saying to you, if you're listening to me and if this is something that you're resonating with? Is this something that you're going through, or you know a loved one, or you know someone that said they feel like this? This is real, okay? Because you're not never going to hear nothing on my podcast that is science fiction. No, this is real. These are real feelings. These are real thoughts. These are real emotions that people go through with on a daily basis. Every second of the day, someone is feeling this. Every second of the day, someone's having some kind of mental illness breakdown. Every second of the day, an addiction is getting stronger, or a new person just became addicted to something. This is something that's going on worldwide, minute, second by second, okay? Someone out there is being affected by what I'm talking about, and hopefully someone is listening to my podcast that this is going to help them, or it's going to help them help someone else. And if it's something where they're stuck and they don't know what's the next step, but they know someone that needs this help, or they need it themselves, reach out for help. Reach out to us. Get on my website. Give us a call. Use my chat. Use my email. Whatever it takes. Or if you just need an advocate to help you out, they will do that. They will walk your journey with you and get you where you need to get to. But again, like I said, I'm not taking the place. We don't want to take the place of your psychiatrist. I'm not taking the place of your doctor. I'm just trying to give you tools and resources that are going to help you when you need them at an instant, at a time, like right now. You know, those are the kinds of tools and resources and the education that I'm trying to put out here on my podcast and on my organization. My advocates, they go through a training all the time because there's new things that are coming up every day about mental illness and addiction. There's new stuff that we're learning on a daily basis. So they're well equipped to handle most of anything right now that's out there now. If it's something new, we're going to learn it. But anything that's out there now, we're well equipped to handle that. And like I said, all of our access is free. You just need to show up for yourself. And, you know, with that being said, you know, I just want to say thank you for joining me here today with our podcast, Breaking the Silence. I know I'm a little raw sometimes, and I know I get, you know, just some information a little bit more raw than some people like to listen, but that's me. You know, my podcast is not for everyone. If it is for you, I'm here. I'm going to be live every day at 6 p.m. You can go on my website if you need us any other time besides being on my lives. Reach out to us. If you resonate with us, or I said something that's going to help you out, please let us know. If I'm helping you out with any of my podcasts, please let me know. If there's something new that you want to learn, or is there something that you need help with, but you're not finding help out there, is there some information that you're trying to get, but you're not being able to get it, let me know, and I'll figure it out and get it put together for you and send it out to you. And also, if you was listening to my podcast yesterday, or if you're following me, you'll know that my whole team is basically volunteers. People that are 100% hearted to drug and addiction and mental illness. So if you do support and you really believe in this cause, because that's the only people that I really want on my team, is people that really, really believe in this cause of mental illness and addiction. If your heart is in that, I ask if you want to volunteer with us, please reach out to me. I have events on a daily basis in my community. I have different lives that are going out on a day-to-day basis. Reach out to me if you want to be part of this movement. If you feel as though you can help with what I'm doing, what I'm trying to put together, reach out to me. If you're, like I said, yes, you know, my podcast, and I'm my community, I have everything that I need to help someone, but there's never enough because there's so many people suffering with this. If you're a licensed therapist, if you're a licensed counselor, or if you just want to be an advocate, if you want to volunteer your time, whether you're local or not, because all of my services are virtual and local, community-based. If you are available and you want to volunteer and you want to help support this cause, this movement, please reach out to me. Go on my website, give me a call, or send me an email or a chat and let me know that you want to be a part of this. You want to volunteer because, like I said, you can never have enough help. because, like I said, our access is available worldwide. So right now, I have what I need, but you never have enough. So if you do want to volunteer and just help out with the events in the community, if you're local, if you're in South Jersey, reach out to me. If you're not in South Jersey, like I said yesterday, most of my community is in the East Coast and the West Coast because of my other businesses, but you still want to volunteer, please reach out to me, because all of our services that we provide to everyone that reaches out to us are available virtually. So if you're a psychiatrist but you live in California or you live in South Dakota, and you want to help, reach out to me, because I can have my clients, you can help our clients virtually. You don't have to be in my community to help out. If there's any other way that you think that we can collaborate just to make this movement stronger, that we can help a broader amount of people with this movement, please reach out to me. As long as it's out there to help mental illness or some kind of addiction, and you're doing something and you have some kind of movement, you have some kind of event, you have something that you want to collaborate with me, if it's in behalf of that, I'm there. Just reach out to me. If I can't attend, I'll definitely have a team member attend. But we are supporting mental illness and drug and addiction 200%. That's what I'm here for. That's why I started my organization, You're Not Alone. That's why I started this podcast, Breaking the Silence, because I'm running with this. I'm hitting the ground and I'm running with this, and I'm trying to help as many people as I can. I'm trying to get this information, tools and resources out to as many people as I can. I can't help everyone, and I get it, but I'm going to help as many as I can. And that's a fact. So if you feel the same way and you feel as though that you can do this and you can help out and you support mental illness and drug and addiction, reach out to us and be a part of our movement. I'll be more than happy to have you as a part of my team. And with that saying, and again, thank you for everyone that's really following us, that's giving us support, and just really helping us with this movement. I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart, because I'm getting so much support from community, from worldwide. I have people reaching out to me from Hawaii, from England, from Brazil. I mean, it's amazing, the people that are reaching out on behalf of this, because this is needed worldwide. And yes, I knew from the beginning that this was needed, but from seeing the community and the people that are reaching out to me from worldwide, I said, oh my God, this is bigger than I thought. And it is. It's this drug and addiction and mental illness is so much deeper and so much more than what a lot of us really think. And that's why what we're doing as an organization and what we're doing as supporters for mental illness and drug and addiction is needed so much. And we can never have enough people working and doing a movement on this. And that's why I feel as though the more people that we can put into this movement and get this message out worldwide, the better it is to get someone this access and save that next person from thinking that they have to struggle by themselves in silence, or try to prevent the next suicide that comes and added to these numbers. That's what we're trying to do. Saying with that, thank you so much for being with me today, supporting me, and I love yous. Please join me again if you feel part of this. Join me again tomorrow. I know it was a little late today getting back from the community, so I signed up a little late today. I'm supposed to be on every day at 6. Sometimes it might be a little hard, but I will get on here regardless. Follow me. Get on my website. Follow me on social media so you can get alerts every day on my podcast or my events. Come join me. And again, I'm going to end this with saying it's okay to not be okay. But what's not okay is to think that you need to struggle alone in silence in the dark. Till tomorrow.